Hello people. It's been a very long gap between my videos. This is video number 5 in Elle's experiences and on domestic abuse, so there's the trigger warning for people who don't want to watch it. I've been really poorly, so I've had a really long break in between the videos, and I'm due to go for an operation that I've needed for a while on the 8th of December, so I thought I'd try and get a couple of videos in before then, but I'm also trying to get Christmas sorted before then as well, because I don't know what I'll be like after the operation. I might need a couple of weeks to get over it, but I'm feeling pretty good at the minute. Still got pains and stuff, but I've built myself right back up, so that I've actually put makeup on today to go on the video, so you're not looking at too much I was going to say ugliness, but I'm not going to put myself down like that. Too much age, I'll say. And I've got my blue on. Remember when in the summer when I went shopping and I got the blue mascara from the 80s and eyeliner? I thought I'd put that on. I love it. I still love it. Mind you, I think I'm a bit stuck in the 80s. So anyway, regarding the videos, I had to recap myself. I had to have a quick look at the last video. And to be honest, watching myself talking like that and talking about not being able to meet my own eyes in the mirror and stuff like that, still felt a little bit disturbing. Hang on, just while I let the dog off. Come here. Go on. Yeah, it still disturbed me a little bit. I didn't like it, but then, you know, I'm not these days thinking about that on a day-to-day basis, am I? You know, it's just like I'm trying to hopefully help other people who may be going through things like this or know somebody who is. So talking about it in depth is obviously it's not the feelings are still going to be there. It just doesn't affect me in the same way today, thank God. Anyway, so yeah, where I was up to was I'm fully fledged in the relationship, probably been there a couple of years now, and unfortunately so with the kids, because I took 3 kids into this relationship as well. And if it was bad for me, God knows what it was like for them. Well, I do know, because they do tell me, and they've got memories that I haven't got, and especially our Dan, the youngest, he'll say, do you remember? He only did it the other day, and I'm like, no, I don't remember. And like I said last time, I don't know whether I blocked things out or I just have got memory, which I haven't now, or what, or the things that I wasn't aware of. The only thing I will say, he wasn't physically violent with the kids. There was one time with our Neil where he did go for him when Neil was about 15, and I ended up getting in front of Neil before he could even get to him, and Neil ended up falling back on the couch, and I'm sat on his knee holding my arms up to keep him away from him, and he never, I hope and think and pray, he never actually got to hit Neil, thank God. And he never hit the other 2 either. He did one time, I remember Neil had done something naughty, and I am not and never have been one who smacks my kids. I don't believe in it. I believe it's or I will be taking my frustration out on them, and I don't believe it achieves anything, because kids that I've known who do get smacked do it again and again and again and get smacked again and again and again. So if it's not working, why are you doing it, you know, if it's not just to get your own frustration out? Well, he pushed this one time that Neil needed a smack, and I had to be the one to do it again. Fucking horrendous control of another human being, and was making my life a misery, to the point that I walked out into the living room where Neil was and just slapped him. It wasn't hard, it wasn't everything, but then I went in the kitchen and burst out crying because I'd actually done that, and it wasn't me. I didn't want to be me. It was probably the last shred of me he took, and he was able to take, because there was nothing before that much left of me. Can't look in my own eyes. The kids were going with their dad every other week, on his say-so again. It was not the dad. My husband, I don't know if I've said his name, I can't even remember that. Anyway, his say-so that Colin would have them every other week. I just said the kid's dad's name, so anyway, sorry. and he would take them to my mum, because they weren't seeing my mum. At this point I was cut off from everyone, from my family, from my friends. Nobody from my past life was in it, no one. Bearing in mind I'm 30, the early 30s now, so literally no one is there anymore. And I'm telling the kids that when they go and see these people and their dads, please don't tell them what's going on at home. And I don't know that I even quantified that with an excuse, because there isn't an excuse. They just understood. They had their own fear of him without the physical violence. Just of him, you know. And obviously because they saw what was going on with me. Hang on, I don't know where the dog's gone. Paul? Where are you? Pop! Oh, there she is. What am I like? Sorry. So yeah, the last thing that he took away my control was to smack my kid, and it never happened again. And I couldn't tell you now that's because I just refused to do it, or he never asked me to do it again. I would love to think that I refused to do it, but if I'm honest, and that's what I've got, all I can be today is honest, I don't know that was the situation. I would have thought he'd have tried to get me to do it more, because I cried. He would have liked that reaction from me, I presume. So yeah, daily life is pretty horrendous. I remember, and this might sound dramatic, but I remember after I'd left him watching Sleeping with the Enemy. You remember Julia Roberts, and it was a horrendous film. And I remember thinking how she had it easy compared to me. No, I mean, that's just a horrific thing to say anyway, and quite selfish, because nobody in that situation has it easy, but that was obviously how Loa was feeling. And the reason being, it was nothing again to do with the physical violence, and everything to do with the fact that she could be on her own and could go somewhere. She went for swimming lessons. That's how she got away from him. She went to do other classes, and you know, she was allowed to go. I wasn't allowed to go as much as the shop. I was not allowed to be out of his company. So not only had I lost everything about myself, I was 24/7 in his company. By the time he wasn't with the band anymore and he was a solo singer, I had to go to every gig he had, which was most nights. I had to help him set up and do all the heavy work, and just sit there in the back, having a Coke if I'm lucky, and sometimes having to take Dan. And just do everything and anything he said. There were times where, there was one time in particular, it was Mum's 70th birthday, and this is going on quite a few years. This is in fact it was very much towards the end, because it was after my Mum's 70th party that I left for good. But pop this way. I remember going to drop the kids. No, was I picking the kids up? I was picking the kids up from school. I don't know how this came about, because it doesn't sound right, but it was my mum's birthday, which is also Rachel's birthday, and today's my mum's anniversary. God love her. And Colin, the dad, was picking them up to take them for Rachel's birthday and for my mum's birthday, and he came up to me in the car, and he had a grasp on the situation. He knew it wasn't good, and I think he had his suspicions of what was going on, and he knew that all the family was cut off and everything like that. And he actually said to me, "Your mum's over there in the car, do you want to come and say hello?" Bear in mind, this is her 70th birthday. And I said, I can't. I was that terrified of what he'd do if I went and said hello to my own mother. Bearing in mind I hadn't seen her for years, on her birthday, that I just said I couldn't. And that haunted me for a long time afterwards, because I thought, what was he going to do in front of Colin and other people? Could have been my chance to just get my mum's car and go. But again, it's always the fear of what's going to happen. I mean, there was another time where my brother came, because O'Neill had said something, I think, and he'd come up, and my brother, and it ended up not very pleasant at all, and my brother had actually hit him And as he was going, he said to me, "Are you coming with me?" And I said, and this is exactly what I said, "I'll have to now, otherwise I'll get the brunt end of that." So the fact that he'd hit him, I would have been the one punished for it. And I got in my brother's car, which at the time was a lovely big Jaguar Mercedes or something, and our Dan was actually a friend of ours at the time, and I said, "I've got to go and get our Dan, I can't leave him there, he'll go and get him." So he said, "Where is it?" I said, "Round the corner." So he took me to get him, and Brendan anyway, his name is, I'm going to say it, it's easier. Brendan followed us round in the car and got out the car with a baseball bat and started to try and hit John's car. Oh, John was more worried about his car, and then Nelson was getting in the way saying, "Not my car, not my car." And he ended up with some bruised ribs and stuff. So that was proof enough to me that some of the things were just threats. You know, he would carry things out. We did that time manage to get in the car and go away again, but unfortunately I went back. I can't even remember what time that was. That obviously wasn't the last one, because I went back, and I couldn't tell you. I know every reason that I ever went back was fear. It was always fear of what he'd do, what he threatened. Even when I got solicitors involved, and he was told, because he'd send me letters, or he'd send me things in taxis, like fucking Haagen-Dazs ice cream in a taxi. He'd send the kids bikes in a taxi, trying to buy us, you know, and stuff. And when I asked the solicitors to make that stop, they told me couldn't do it anymore. But then he sent letters to the solicitors instead, and they forwarded them to me. You know, it was relentless, absolutely relentless. So there were the pressure when I'd left Stephen was kept on, always kept on. He found different ways, which is for another day, but he found different ways to get to me and get at me, which I will tell you about, because they're a good warning for other people. Looking at my face then, I look really bloody old. Never mind with me. It's alright if I'm up there, look. Don't look so bad there, but when it's hanging down there, bloody hell. Anyway, so yeah, I'm looking, I could list things that happened. I think I've given you possibly enough things to identify with at the minute. They might not be the exact things that happened to you, but they probably sound familiar, or somebody you know. And as I always say, if there's anything I speak about or you think you want to know more about, just send me an inbox, message me. If I can help anyone, that's what I'm here for. That means I didn't go through all that for nothing. It means, which I know I didn't now anyway, but it means I can help somebody else to get away from it. And because I did a counselling course for domestic abuse, and they wanted people who've been in domestic abuse relationships. If you're in AA, you talk to somebody else, Alcoholics Anonymous, who is an alcoholic, because they know exactly how you feel or what you go through or what you do. So talking to people who've been through experiences you might be going through, they might not have the answers, but they'll have experiences of their own, and they'll have what worked for them and how they coped and how they got through it. And that's what I want to try and help other people do, if I possibly can, because it's a very lonely life to be in that sort of a relationship. And men or women, you know, I don't mind, just let me know. It's not so long ago that there was a man in the paper, wasn't it, or the news, that had been killed from domestic abuse. This happens to both. Or children who's have, you know, maybe seeing a parent go through something like this. If I can't help you, I'm sure my kids can, and they will. That's what we're here for, to help each other. So I'll leave it there for my first one back. I hope some of it's made sense. I'm a bit erratic at the minute. Love me blue makeup, I hope you do too. And I'll try and get a couple more on before the 8th of December. I think I'll move on from things that happened to me. There's nothing specific that I really want to go into, rather than listing he did this, he did that, he did the other. And I'll start talking to you about my attempts and then eventual escape at leaving, because it was a fucking escape, and things that happened during that, and yeah, pitfalls to look out for, and the fact that you can do it, you can, and proof, and so are my kids. Okay, I hope I've helped. Speak soon. Bye.